Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your Baltimore Sports Podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be recapping the Orioles' win over the Texas Rangers to avoid getting swept in their second series of the year. The Orioles moved to a 3-3 record. They're back at 500. This was really, in my opinion, kind of a must-win game for these guys, because if we fell to 2-4, and get swept in the second series of the year, that really wouldn't have been a good look. But the Orioles avoid the sweep. They still lose this series 2-1 to the Rangers, but they do avoid getting swept. They move to 3-3 on the year, and they win 8-3 over the Rangers. The offense looked really good. They were putting up a ton of base hits. The pitching from Trevor Rogers looked great. Wasn't spectacular. He did struggle, especially in that fourth inning. But overall, Trevor Rogers had a quality start. 6 innings, 2 runs, did his thing. Strikeouts really weren't there, but still he was getting those outs. The offense looked great. Sam Obasayo and Dylan Beavers both hit their first home runs of the season. Both of the rookies going long in this game. A bunch of other Orioles contributing in this game as well, especially Leody Taveras, who is potentially looking like the Ramon Laureano of last season for the Orioles, where you have this older veteran rotational outfielder who is who's just playing really well, and he might force his way into getting more at bats. But again, it's just been one game for him. We'll see what things look like down the line. But he looked incredible today. The Orioles looked great today against a very good pitcher in Nathan Eovaldi. He is the Rangers' number one pitcher. Nathan Eovaldi is. Eovaldi and DeGrom are their top two guys, and the Orioles faced them the past 2 games. And the offense played pretty well the past 2 games. Yesterday, obviously, the bullpen was a big reason why they lost, but today, we didn't really have to worry about the bullpen much because the Orioles only ran out 2 pitchers in this game. Trevor Rogers was able to go 6 innings, and then Albert Suarez was able to finish the game off with going 3 to finish the game. So the Orioles have really struggled recently with having starting pitchers go far in games. Zach Eflin yesterday had to get taken out with injury, and then Bassett, Baz, and Bradish all before didn't really have great outings. They weren't horrible, but they just weren't great outings. And when I say not great outings, I mean they weren't they weren't going far in games, which obviously, eating innings and going 6 or 7 innings in games, even if you are giving up a couple runs, is still so valuable. So the Orioles struggled with having pitchers go far. Trevor Rogers, obviously the Orioles ace, went 6 innings today. A little bit ugly, but still got the job done. Was able to save our bullpen. We have a day off tomorrow, so let's just go over this game real quick. So going over this Orioles game, obviously they win 8-3 over the Rangers. They move to 3-3 on the season. And again, a very good Rangers team as well. They were 4-1 going into this game. The Rangers have looked really good this season. They have a good offense. They got some good starting pitchers. But Nathan Eovaldi so far this year is 0-2 in his starts. So the Phillies were able to kind of hit him up in that first start, but the Orioles were also able to do really well against him today. But going over, we're actually going to start with the pitching today. Trevor Rogers is now 2-0 on the year. He gets credited the win today. Trevor Rogers, 2-0 on the year, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts with a 91 pitch count across the 6 innings. So again, the pitch count was a little bit high. It was looking really good early on, but in the 4th inning, I'm pretty sure he had like 35 or something pitches in 1 inning. So that really did kind of make his final outing not look great in terms of the pitches thrown. 91 pitches through 6 innings is not great, but still, he was able to push through the 6 innings and get the job done. Only gave up 2 earned runs, gave up 6 hits and 1 walk, so 7 total base runners, 2 runs in the game, and only had 3 strikeouts. He had 2 in the first 2 innings, but he was giving up some contact today. But as we know, Trevor Rogers isn't really like that big of a strikeout guy. He's way more of a ground ball and soft contact pitcher, and Trevor Rogers was able to generate a lot of that today. Kobe Mayo and Jeremiah Jackson at third and second base were able to make some really good plays today. But Trevor Rogers, only 3 strikeouts today, but only did allow 2 runs through 6 innings, and he has a 1.38 ERA in his first 2 full starts this season. He's looked great. I mean, he's looked exactly like the pitcher that I think a lot of us were expecting to see. He went 7 innings scoreless in his first start, went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs in his second start. So 2 quality outings for him in his first 2 starts. He's 2-0 on the year. Can't really ask for much of a better start for Trevor Rogers this season. And then going over to the bullpen, and there's only really one guy I want to talk about in the bullpen, and that's Albert Suarez. We actually called him up this morning because we put Zach Eflin on the 15-day IL. This was pretty expected because of the whole elbow discomfort thing. They did show him today on the broadcast. He was there at the game. He didn't have any sort of brace on his elbow or anything, so I'm hoping that this Zach Eflin injury is not going to be anything too serious. But Albert Suarez did get called up this morning. I think he arrived in Baltimore this morning from Norfolk, and he looked all right. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. I'm not really expecting a ton out of Albert Suarez, but something that Albert Suarez can do, especially in scenarios like this where the Orioles are winning by 5, they're kind of dominating the game, and they've used a lot of their bullpen here recently over the last few days, and the Orioles only ended up using 2 pitchers in this game. Rogers went 6. Suarez went 3. Albert Suarez is someone who can come out of the bullpen and go long and kind of stretch out innings out of the bullpen. He's a guy that can go 2 or 3 innings out of a bullpen, and he can also be someone that can start games for you. We saw him start a lot of games for the Orioles 2 years ago. I think he started a game last year for us, but he's going to be coming out of the bullpen pretty much this year. I would expect Dean Kramer to get called up sometime soon to kind of replace Zach Eflin in the rotation. But Albert Suarez today really did save the bullpen today, and we have a day off tomorrow as well, so it's kind of like a double positive there. Albert Suarez got through 3 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 solo home run to Corey Seager, but that was it. 42 pitches through 3 innings, not like incredible, but again, he was able to go through that. Like, not all relievers can go 3 innings and pitch 42 pitches in 3 innings. You know what I'm saying? Like, not all relievers and bullpen guys can do that. Albert Suarez, we know he's a veteran, so love to see that from him. And love to see the fact that we didn't use a ton of bullpen guys in a game where we were winning really from the very beginning. But going over to the offense, and there's a lot to talk about today with this offense because they put up 12 total hits. They scored 8 total runs. They were 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and they left 10 guys on base. So that just goes to show you how many guys got on. I think it was 18 total base runners for the Orioles, 12 hits and 6 walks. 18 total guys on base for the Orioles today. 10 left on base as well, so they still left a lot of runs on the board here. 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position isn't amazing. They still left 10 on base. But going over to this offense and everyone that played today, Taylor Ward continues to look really good. He had a really rough start in his first 3 or 4 games. Yesterday, Taylor Ward had that 4-hit day in that loss. And then today, he has another multi-hit game. He goes 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs in today's game. His average is up to a 333 right now. Gunnar Henderson is one of 2 Orioles in this game who actually didn't get a hit today. Him and Kobe Mayo both didn't get hits, and both of those guys' averages are not looking too hot right now. But Gunnar Henderson, of all people, has not really looked amazing to start this year. He had a solo home run a couple games ago, brought in a couple runs yesterday. He has, I think he has 1 home run and 4 RBIs on the year, which isn't a horrible stat, but his average is sitting at a 160 right now through the first 6 games of the season. He went 0 for 4 today with a walk, so he did get on base at least, but he did not record a hit. He was 0 for 4. So not amazing. The at-bats aren't looking amazing for Gunnar. I'd like to see him maybe draw some more walks. He's been chasing a lot of balls down in the zone. I would really like to see Gunnar get going, because if Gunnar Henderson can get going back into the Gunnar that we know, and then you also add on the fact that we're going to be getting Jackson Holiday back soon, this offense can really start cooking, because some of these other guys, like Dylan Beavers and Samuel Basayo, Pete Alonso, Leody Taveras, who we'll talk about in a second, some of these other guys have been playing really, really good baseball recently. So if Gunnar Henderson, who was arguably your best overall player, If he can get going, and again, we label this guy as the franchise cornerstone. If he can get going alongside everyone else, then this offense is really going to be scary. I think the thing that is holding this offense back a little bit is Gunnar Henderson a little bit, and also just the consistency of the team, just being able to drive in runs, which again, it is still early. We're through the first 2 series of the year. They're 3-3 on the season. But Gunnar Henderson, you would love to see him get going soon. Not a great start for him this year, just a little bit off in his timing. Going over to Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso, not an amazing day, but he does get on base twice in this game. He goes 1 for 4 with a run scored and a walk. So Pete Alonso continues to be productive, gets on base twice today. You love to see it from the Polar Bear. Now going over to Samuel Basallo, who started at catcher today over Adley Rutschman. We gave Adley the day off today. Samuel Basallo went 2 for 5 with a solo home run in this game. So shout out to Samuel Basallo. He had a very hard hit single in the first inning, and then he also had a solo home run in this game as well. So shout out to Samuel Basallo. He looked great today. Basallo, he had the home run in the 5th inning, but Samuel Basallo, I think it was like 440 feet off the. It was like 440 feet, dead center field, like 113 off the bat. I mean, we know that he has this type of power. We know what Samuel Basallo is capable of. He was batting 4th today, 2 for 5, solo home run. Love to see it from him. It's his first home run of the year, and he did it in a powerful way. His average is still a little bit low at a 211. His slug's at a 368, so Samuel Basallo's average is still a little bit low, but we do know that he has that big home run potential, and hopefully he can just kind of get more eased into the season and just have some better at-bats. And then going over to Kobe Mayo, he's the only other Oriole today that did not get a base hit. Him and Gunnar both didn't get base hits. Not a great game from Kobe Mayo today. Had a couple good plays at third base today because he knew he was going to get a lot of ground balls because Trevor Rogers is a big ground ball pitcher. But Kobe Mayo went 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts, but he did walk. So every single Oriole today did touch base at least once. Gunnar and Kobe did walk once today. But Kobe Mayo struck out 3 times in his 4 at-bats. Not great. He was really chasing a lot and at lower pitches. But Kobe Mayo, he's sitting at a 118 average to start the year. Not a great start from him at all. He was someone who I was really looking at to have a big season because he was incredible in spring training. And obviously it's still early in the year, so I'm not going to overreact too much. But Kobe is the Jordan Westbrook replacement. We do know what Jordan Westbrook is capable of doing. And we're not going to see Jordan Westbrook probably for another at least 2 months. He actually got put on the 60-day IL today, so it's going to be a while before we see Jordan Westbrook. Kobe Mayo, mixed with a rotation of Kobe Mayo, Blaze Alexander is probably going to be that third base. And then Jackson Holiday hopefully will be coming back here in the next week or week and a half or so. He's currently with AAA right now doing his thing. So Kobe Mayo, not a great game today. But Dylan Beavers, the other rookie with Samuel Basallo, both of those guys are both expected to be in that AL Rookie of the Year conversation. Dylan Beavers today has his career high in hits. He goes 3 for 5 with 3 runs scored and a solo home run. So Dylan Beavers and Samuel Basallo both get their first home runs of the season. You love to see that out of the rookie pair. But Dylan Beavers, 3 hits. He also scored 3 runs, and he also had a solo home run in this game. So you love to see that from Dylan Beavers. He's at a 286 average on the year. He shot that average way up recently. And then Colton Cowser, he went 1 for 2 in this game with a run scored and a walk. So he got on base twice. He scored a run. Love to see that from Colton. He's at a 333 average to start the year. So Colton Cowser is really... he's having it all right. Like, he's not playing bad to start this season, and he's been slotting in at that 7, 8, 9 hitter spot. Really, he's been sitting at like the 7 spot all year, but he has looked pretty good to start this season, and I wouldn't be surprised if we move him up a little bit, but you love to see that from the depth in this team as well. Colton Cowser, 333 average in the first 6 games of the season. You love to see that from the Milkman. And then going over to Leody Taveras, who... he was incredible today. He was 2 for 2 with a run scored, 2 RBIs, and 2 walks. Lots of 2s on the board for Leody Taveras. 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, and 2 walks. He had a 2 RBI double in this game to add on to the lead even more. I think it was in the 3rd inning. But Leody Taveras, he has looked great in the. I mean, he looked great in this game. It was his first start of the season out in center field, and obviously it's just one game, but there is a possibility that Leote might be like the Ramon Laureano role, like Ramon was last year for the Orioles, where Ramon Laureano was an older player who was like a rotational outfielder guy, and then he ended up getting playing time because of some injuries, and he was killing it. And Ramon Laureano was killing it. He was the Orioles' best hitter for a really long time until we traded him at the deadline. And I'm not saying that we're going to have to trade anyone at the deadline, but Leody Taveras has looked really good this year. You'd love to see that from him. And it also just goes to show this outfielder depth. You have Leody Taveras, Colton Cowser, Dylan Beavers, Tyler O'Neill, Taylor Ward. This outfield depth is crazy between those five guys. Taylor Ward, Colton Cowser, Dylan Beavers, Tyler O'Neill, Leody Taveras, all of those guys can be big contributors for this Orioles team. And then going over to Jeremiah Jackson, who continues just to impress throughout his career, sitting at a 267 average on the season so far. He's been slotted in at that 9-hitter pretty much all year, but he has continued to be a big depth piece for the Orioles this season. Today, he went 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs in this game, so you love to see that from Jeremiah Jackson. He had an RBI single, and he also had a sac fly today. So love Jeremiah Jackson in this spot. He did his thing today. Love to see that from the kid. But thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow up on Spotify. Make sure to click the link in the bio to check out the Twitter and the Instagram. I post all the time on Twitter. I do live tweets of every single Orioles game. All the news that comes out, I post on there first. Every single Orioles game, I'm live tweeting the games with what's happening and updates and through the game and whatnot. And I'm also tweeting out any sort of Ravens news as well. And speaking of the Ravens, I will be doing my first mock draft for the NFL draft tomorrow. It's going to be the Birds of a Feather mock draft 1.0. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow because the Orioles do have a day off, and there's no obviously big Ravens news going on unless we get some in the next 24 hours or so. But tomorrow I will be doing my first mock draft for the NFL draft. I'm not just doing the Ravens, I'm doing a full 32 first round mock draft for all teams in the first round. So we're going to be doing a first round mock draft tomorrow. I did this last year where every week in the month of April leading up to the draft I would do a mock draft. So we are going to be doing one tomorrow. Obviously we're going to spend a little bit more time talking about the Ravens pick because again, that is what this channel is based off of. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. Hopefully you guys tune in for y'all football fans out there. But the Orioles get their win today. They win 8-3. They move to 3-3 on the season. 6 games down. A whole lot to go. So they have a day off tomorrow. They're back at it again on Friday. They have a weekend series in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. And the good news about that series is that they do get to avoid Paul Skeens because he pitched today. So we're going to be facing no Paul Skeens or Bubba Chandler. We're going to be playing the 2, 3, and 4 in that lineup for Pittsburgh. And then the Orioles on Friday, I think they're going to roll out Bradish, and then it's going to be Baz, and then it's going to be Bassett. So same thing that we saw last week. But again, I'll see you guys in the next one. You have a great sales day. I'll see y'all tomorrow for the mock draft. Hope you have a great sales day. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see you later. Peace out.